guys, so today, like you heard earlier, we're talking about drivetrains.
Now,
What is a drivetrain?
So a drivetrain is kind of like the base of your robot and kind of explains how your robot's going to move from motor power.
So there are many types of drivetrains that you'll find in FTC. The way we divide it up, we'll call it a standard, kind of like basic, and we'll go more advanced multi-directional drivetrains.
Drivetrains are pretty much fundamental to how FTC runs. How drivetrain works could determine how well you move, how fast you're moving, and as well as
It could determine like the structure of your robot in a way, kind of the way your robot functions, how efficient it is. Drivetrains have a big deal, and chances are it's the first thing you build when your season starts. So let's get to it. First up, let's talk about standard drivetrains. Oftentimes you'll see these are called Omni Wheels. We'll put a picture of it for you. Basically, there are two sets of wheels. There's they can drive forward and backward in this way, and they have rollers on the sides.
So they have passive rollers. So what that means is that if you want to move this way, they'll let you slide sideways.
If you move this wheel forward, for instance, it's going to turn this way. If this wheel is not moving at all, and vice versa.
So the nice thing about this is that it's really simple. Only these two have to drive, and you only two Omnis. So for super rookie teams, and you don't have a lot of time this season, this is what they would normally end up creating.
Yep.
It's not bad. It depends on the game, but the problems that you see with this are it's very limited with only two motors that act as power, and it struggles to really be mobile in this game.
Yep, that's a fact. Another type of drivetrain you'll see something called a tank drive. You'll see not 4 wheels, you'll see 6 wheels. You'll see 3 on each side.
For traction.
For traction, of course.
But typically, I think there's only 4 motors on these.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then, I mean, it could even be. I mean, there's multiple variations with drivetrains.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you can do it. I've seen people use 2 motors and just chain them up, stuff like that.
Oftentimes they're driven by a chain or a belt on these
Yeah.
wheels, on the axle, so they all move together. Lots of traction.
And for that kind of stuff, chain and gears and stuff, you gotta really make sure that those gears are really meshed properly. You don't want to hear cracking noises during the meets, which we've seen, of course.
Good thing about this is a lot of pushing force.
Right.
So in the direction you move, you have a ton of force in it. So if you need to get somewhere, like slam a rope out of the way, this is the way to do it.
So comparing these two, chances are this one's gonna help you turn better, but this one's gonna give you a lot more power when driving.
A lot of the recommendation is try to use 4 motors for any drivetrain you make, which kind of disqualifies this one. Definitely for if you're moving beyond your first season.
Yeah.
Now we get into the
multi-directional.
This is the most mobile style of robot.
Yep. So you'll see. Let's start off with the Omni Drive. You'll see teams use Omni Wheels, 4 of them, angled diagonally on each side, like this. You'll use 4 motors, of course.
So the way this one works is that if you want to move forward, you drive this one this way, this one this way, this one this way, and that one that way. So what this happens is the left and right forces cancel, and so you're left with only force going this direction. And you can kind of understand how you can flip these so that the force is basically this way, and that way.
Obviously, the advantage of using a system like this is you can go multi-directional. You can go in any direction. You can go left, right, up, down, any direction, even diagonal.
Oh yeah.
Like this. So you're really having a drivetrain like this can really be helpful with maneuvering around the field, of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just think about how much easier parallel parking is when you have sideways movement.
Yeah.
This is actually a special name for drivetrains that can move in 360, like anywhere in any direction. It's called holonomic.
Holonomic, yeah.
So there's this whole like physics math way of deriving what is a holonomic robot. Don't worry about that. More or less, this is a holonomic style, and then there's one more popular holonomic style.
So we actually started off during the season with a multi-directional system. We tried out an Omni system. We actually had like 3 different holonomic systems this season. The problem with this Omni Drive, like I said earlier, whatever your drivetrain is, it has an impact on what the end robot is going to look like.
Sure.
It really impacts your base. Now thinking about this, like your motors have to be diagonal, right? You need to mount them in a way that they're diagonal on each of the corners.
Yeah. So you get a problem with, it's really like rev pieces are not designed to put 45-degree angles like that.
Yeah.
So finding like, what's the piece to clamp the motor down?
Motor mount maybe?
Motor mounts, yeah. Placing 45-degree motor mounts was a pain throughout the season. Also, you get slippage. So if you want to move in one direction, it's harder to brake. Like there's no frictional force.
Right, you're all Omni Wheels. That's your limitation.
Yeah. So you don't get as much like traction, and you slip a lot more. The next style would be.
So what if I want to create a standard base but have it multi-directional? Well, there's something called a Mecanum wheel.
This is the most popular style in FTC. I think for the last like 5 games.
This is the alpha. Drivetrains.
This is the big one.
This is the big one. This is in my opinion, it's the best one because you keep that standard.
You keep like the tank style.
Yeah.
But then you get multi-dimensional. You get the best of both worlds, basically.
That's what. Yeah, you get power. All these motors are. All these wheels are powered. And Mecanum wheel will show a picture of that. But basically, they're diagonal.
Rollers. Yeah.
So yeah.
So the nice thing about this also is that the programming is the exact same as for Omnis. So you can imagine it the same way. So if you want to move forward, just roll this forward, it'll go. Yep. Back, and then sideways, run this forward, and then run this backwards, forwards, that way, and that way.
So the main difference between these two, I guess you could say. Why would I choose a Mecanum drivetrain over a multi-directional drivetrain? Less slippage, that's one thing. From a building standpoint, it's a lot easier to work with something like this than having to angle motor mounts in 45-degree angles here. This is a big plus. On top of that, how much do these cost right now?
Like you can find a good set for like $70, $90.
Yes. So.
And if you, that's what I would definitely recommend going with these. And there's tons of different companies with different wheels.
And if your worry is, hey, like, this is going to be so difficult to program, it's really not. There's so many libraries out there.
Not at all. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's definitely the way to go. I was worried that the programming would be super complicated. Even though we have this, I wasn't aware that they're the same programming. It's not hard at all to learn how to program this.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now. Go get the camera on me. All right, listen to me. If you are a rookie team and you want a huge jump start in FTC, 2 things. Get a Mecanum drivetrain and learn linear systems. We'll have a video on that coming up.
Yeah.
But those 2 things can really
carry you,
push you on top. Not many teams start off with that stuff. They start off with something like this, and they have a lot to learn.
And they start with like multi-dimensional arms and stuff, which is super hard to program.
It really
super hard to deal with.
Start with something like this, and it'll really boost your game. Anyway.
Pause it.
Picture. Okay. So yeah, there are multiple other drivetrains. I want to give you one more drivetrain example. I can't draw this out. I'm going to put the name on. It's called a swerve drivetrain. This, I think, is the most complicated
it's very hard to make.
Drivetrain to make.
You'll see it at FRC a lot.
FRC has it a lot, yeah.
There's actually different ways. Like there's something called differential swerve, which if you look it up on YouTube, you'll see one by Gluten Free, which is amazing.
Yes. Shout out Gluten Free.
That's team. There's also like the roller spinny wheel ones, like the suitcase wheels.
Yes.
Those are cool. Hard to work with, hard to program.
Yeah.
But they look dope. So.
I think drivetrains might be the coolest thing to start off with. I mean, starting off in FTC, you gotta start off with a drivetrain. But again, I want to stress this enough. I can't stress this enough. Mecanum is the way to go, probably.
There's one more. A lot of teams start off and they think, let's start with this, and they want to make quickly holonomic. They add a wheel that's like this.
So basically they'll have 4 Omnis now, like this. And then they'll have a wheel right here, which is also an Omni wheel. So you have basically, you could have 5, right?
Yeah, 5.
It can just have 5, but yeah. You have another motor right here. It could be.
So it's 5. It's 5 motors and something called an H turn because it looks like an H.
Yes, it's an H.
Downsides of this are it takes 5 motors instead of 4, and you risk having this wheel cause problems.
For sure.
When you're trying to go forward, it like damage the field, which we had this year. But you can make it work. It's not a bad strategy.
It's not bad at all. But yeah, so that's a quick video on drivetrains. We will put some links on where you can buy maybe the Mecanum wheels. What are some places we can buy Mecanums from?
I know Rev has a good set.
Rev has a good set.
Go Builder has a huge Mecanum wheels that you see on some robots.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I remember starting off using Andy Mark Mecanum wheels. One thing with Mecanum wheels is you don't want to over tighten some of the rollers and stuff, because that adds friction and that really can
makes it harder to move.
Moving around. So getting a quality set of Mecanum wheels is important if you want to purchase them, you know, because you're not going to buy a new set of Mecanum every year.
For sure.
One more thing I want to talk about. How important is the arrangement of the wheels?
So what I looked online is that it's not hugely important, like the distance or like all that really matters from Mecanum is that you have the rollers are placed properly.
Right.
So
it causes like an X formation you can see here.
Yeah.
The wheels, the angled. Yeah.
If you're looking at the bottom, it should be an O.
Circle.
I'm pretty sure. We'll double check that and put it in the description if it's wrong.
Yeah.
And then to make sure that, I believe you want this spacing to be the same. Like you want this spacing to be the same as this spacing, and this to be the same as this.
But anyway, that's a quick overview. That is the 5th video in the FTC 101 for Dummies series that we're creating. You'll see a lot more videos. I think the next video we might do is we can go more into linear systems maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe some types of
motors.
Motors, servos, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, FTC is a lot different from First Lego League. Your view, the stuff you can use. I mean, the ceiling is the roof, like my brother says. There's so much you can do in FTC. There's so many resources online. I'll post some up there for you too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
This is 11172 Stat Discharge. Like, comment, subscribe. See more videos.
Yep.
Peace out.
Peace out.
And now I see clear in HD. Gotta go hard.